Join us at Women of Courage and celebrate the achievements of women. Before we begin, we're going to take a few moments to collect ourselves and to relax before we engage into our discussion. What we need to do is to focus now on bringing positive energy into our lives and into the world. The energy that we project every day is the same energy that we get back. We have all seen those people that can walk into a room and they glow. People want to be around them. People feel better being in their presence. That's the energy that we need to create. And once we learn how to do this, our lives will be filled with greatness. We will attract that positive energy. And how we can do this is by changing our outlook, meeting every day with gratitude, thankfulness, optimism, and once you do this, you will see a change in yourself. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. Think about everything positive in your life: family, friends, a career, your faith. All of this is how you start your day. Every morning when you wake up, I want you to think about what is positive in your life. I want you to list 10 reasons why your life is amazing. You will see the change. You will be changed. You will begin to attract life's blessings. Lead with gratitude. Be thankful and think positive. The Women of Courage show is being broadcast by the Women and Children's Restoration Ministries to help you problem solve, to help you dream again, to help you believe that anything is possible. We want you to believe that you do not have to marry the first man you meet just to get someone to take care of you. You do not have to live a life of drudgery. You can educate yourself. All you have to do is learn to read competently. We want you to take a chance on yourself. Stop believing all the soothsayers around you that have never left a state in their lives. People who do not have courage to fly. People who only think of lying, cheating, and stealing. You can live an exciting life. All you have to do is believe that you can make your dreams come true. You do not have to go to bed with someone you despise day in and day out. You have the right to marry someone that you can talk to someone that believes in you and has faith in you as a human being. In other words, you do not have to settle for just anyone. But what you must do is strive toward your goal. You must be goal oriented. You must organize yourself. You must be clear about what you want in life and why you want such a life. All of us are made up of dreams. As our dreams unfold in our lives, our spirit soars. Realizing our dreams becomes a problem because oftentimes we are beaten down by our friends and family. We are beaten down at school by people laughing at us because of our shoe size, our ear size, our breast size, the clothes we wear, etc. We are beaten down by people saying nothing will come of our lives. We are beaten down when our mothers and grandmothers constantly say that we're going to be just like our father, an inmate in prison. Many of us are also discouraged when our mothers are inattentive. She is wrapped up in her new boyfriend. But life anew is possible. It is my job to encourage you to go as far as you can dream and as far as your dreams can take you. It is my job to get you to believe in life again. I am sick and tired of people failing at life just because they are around negative speaking and negative acting people. Do not let the failure of other people make you lose confidence in yourself. Yes, you may be surrounded by poverty, but you must look for a way out. The book, If You Believe in God, You Do Not Belong in Prison, will help you. What you must do above all else is learn to read competently. You must read, read, and read. Anyone who laughs at you for reading, you need to leave that person alone. I do not care if it's your mother. Anyone who discourages you, you are to stop all association. Man is not different than plants. We need encouragement to grow as plants need water to thrive. You are to leave foolish, stupid people alone. Their ignorance will weigh you down or even get you killed. Sit down and think how you can avoid these people, especially if they're in your family. If you are overwhelmed with the tiring feeling that feels as if you're carrying a bag of stone around every morning when you get out of bed and think how you'll have to spend another living life you're not passionate about, the books I suggest are the perfect solution for your unique needs. Not only will we help you realize why these feelings overwhelm you and what you can do to change it, but they will also teach you how to live a life of strength, courage, fearlessness in order to realize all of your dreams. If you are lacking the attitude and psychology, proper resource or vision to make your dreams a reality, combined with dissatisfaction with the execution of your plans, but you remain firmly dedicated to making your ambition a reality and creating the life you deserve, you will certainly derive the most benefit from professional, incredible content within these books. Contents that will assist you in achieving the results that you are after. You are never to give up on yourself. Are you ready to leave your future to chance? Of course not. Take your life in your hand and learn all the necessary tools, mindset, strategies used by the men and women of courage, used in order to live the life of their dream. Change your life with our book starting today. During the next few weeks, we're going to discuss when you are in trouble. We're going to continue to discuss self-esteem and our self-image. And we're going to introduce a new subject, internal dialogue and motivation. The reason why we keep rehashing these topics is because these topics are important to our lives. We have to realize and accept we are descendants of slaves. Slaves were brutalized. Slaves were tortured. Slaves were mistreated. Slaves were repeatedly raped and beaten. This harsh treatment had a lasting effect on their lives, on their relationships with other people, on their relationships with their families. The only way to understand ourselves is to understand our ancestors. And the only way to free ourselves from what happened 100 or 200 years ago is to pay attention to what we say and do to ourselves and others. There are 3 black psychiatrists I want you to read. You must make an effort to go find the books that these 3 people wrote. The psychiatrists are Frantz Fanon, Frances Cress Welsing, and Alvin Toussaint. You need to understand how slavery and racism has affected you. You need to read everything that these 3 people wrote. It will help you in your understanding of yourself and in your understanding where you want to go and how other people living around you are why they are the way they are. It is quite a task to try and explain reality to others. The writing of these three psychiatrists is a and was a bold endeavor into the future. What they wrote about and why they wrote was not because of finance. These people were not interested in money. They were interested in helping. Now, an internal dialogue or self-taught or inner speech is a person's inner voice. It is a running verbal monologue that a person has with himself or herself while they are conscious. An internal dialogue is an inner conversation that we have with ourselves. The discussion that we have with ourselves is usually tied to our sense of self. Our monologues can be characterized as plannings, problem solving, self reflection, self image, critical thinking, emotions, and sub vocalization. When our internal dialogue or inner speech becomes negative or critical, it contributes to psychological disorders including depression, anxiety, and other mental disorders. This is why I think it's important that we discuss the subjects of internal dialogue. Self speech can lead to murder because it is associated with the image we have of ourselves. That is correct. Self speech can lead to violence. In the next few weeks, I hope to relate these subjects in such a way where you can see how they affect your life and how you can take this knowledge and turn your life around for the better. But the only way you can succeed is you must be honest with yourself. I want you to see that life is unpredictable, so don't be surprised if you find yourself wrong in some of your beliefs and expectations. That is normal, even if it seems illogical at sometimes. You must accept that some of the things that you believe are not true. There is always time for laughter and a miracle if you see it that way. And sometimes you should roll with the punches rather than condemning yourself when something does not go the way you think it should go. Something else I hope that you will see in our discussion is that you prepare for a storm by doing three things: saving your money, reading and never stop reading, and learning a new skill. This way, if your employer gives you a surprise, you do have several things to fall back on: a new skill and a savings, and you do read so you will know what is happening in your community. After a great deal of research into the concept of self esteem, it seems that many of life's failures are linked to one's self esteem. The lack of self esteem seems to be the kissing cousin to the word avoidance, excuse, flight, risk taker, and fear. There seems to be a negative chain of events that develops from the lack of self esteem. If you lack self esteem, you may constantly say to yourself, I am not going to get that job, so why try? She is not going to go on a date with me, so why should I ask her? And the churning goes on until nothing is accomplished, all because you do not believe in yourself. People miss out on good jobs and good relationships because they don't believe in themselves. A lot of us live lies, but only a few of us live our dreams. A lot of us have lofty dreams. We want to have successful relationships. We want to own big corporations. We want to raise a beautiful family, but only a few people are able to fulfill their desires. A lot of people are confused about how to live their lives to the fullest, so they end up living a life of mediocrity. Maybe that describes you. You are not alone. Understand, first of all, that life is not rocket science. So, what you put in it is what you get out of it. If you fall into the category of people who do not have the willpower to live their own lives, then I've got good news for you. The book Women of Courage and You Are the Prophet of Your Life are two books you need to read. The books not only discuss how you can solve some of your personal problems, they also provide practical guidance on how you can move from the realm of dreaming to the realm of doing so that you can achieve your heart's desire. These books will teach you to attend to your self esteem. You will receive suggestions on how to build your self esteem. The books also will give you examples when you should seek professional guidance to help you with your low self esteem. Oftentimes, we need help, and there's nothing wrong, and it does not make you weak to go and ask for help. Now, you must see how negativity can ruin a beautiful life, but by living positively, you can solve a number of personal problems that can stand in your way of happiness and a successful life. Think of your life as a new building for which you are the architect. You can decide how many bathrooms or bedrooms to put in your new house. Think of your life as a vehicle for which you are the driver. You can decide when to stop your car or when to accelerate your car. Think of your life as a ship on a stormy sea for which you are the captain. You're the sailor. You have to sail to safety, otherwise the ship will capsize. Only you can determine the course. Only you can decide what direction you want to go. These are all decisions that we all have to make every day. Every day life throws different challenges to us. How we choose to handle these challenges can make a difference in our lives. We can decide what happens in our life. You can be your own prophet. You can make the choices, but in making choices, you need reliable information. You cannot wager your life based on someone else's goals or beliefs. You can have a friend that tells you it's a waste of time for you to save $5 a week. That's stupid. She may say that it will take you forever to accumulate any money in the bank. Or your friend can say it's a waste of time for your trying to go to college and pay tuition while working at McDonald's. When people give you advice, you need to examine their suggestions thoroughly. If you do not start saving money, you will never have a savings. And people should have a savings no matter how much money is in their account. And if you do not start going to college while working at McDonald's, when are you going to go to college? You must keep in mind some people can give you stupid suggestions based on their life desires. And some people may not think anything is worth working hard for. So before you make a decision based on what someone else thinks, consider your own thoughts, thereby elevating your self-esteem. If you think saving $5 a week is important, then that is what you should do. As the weeks go by, you can increase your savings from $5 a week to $10 a week. Here's a Chinese proverb that says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. You should never be afraid of taking the bold step. You want to change your career at age 40? Then change your career. You need to acquire a new skill to boost your income, so go for it. You love someone but are scared to tell them? Come on, do it now. No one will kill you for that. It's the story of your life. Do not let anyone else but you be the writer of your life. You can look beyond the facade of whatever despair and disappointment you're currently facing. Don't ever look down on yourself. If you ever have to look down, make sure certain, that you're looking down at your shoes. I'll say it again. If you ever have to look down on yourself, make certain that you are looking down at your shoes. We all need a companion to help us through life. You need a companion to help you make your decisions, because a lot of times it's easier to talk to someone who is a true companion. Well, You Are the Prophet of Your Life is a very good companion. You need to read this book and live the life you've always wanted. You do not have to walk around desperate. You do not have to walk around unhappy. Now, please take a moment and listen to these alarming statistics. According to the recent New York Times article, the United States suicide rate surged to a 30-year high in the year 2015 and is steadily increasing. In fact, in the last 15 years alone, the suicide rate for girls aged 10 to 14 tripled. The suicide rate for middle-aged women saw a 63% increase, and the suicide rate for middle-aged men saw a rate increase of 43%. These statistics are devastating. People of all ages and walks of life are unhappy, desperate, and they feel their life is without hope. And the problem of suicide is getting worse. In recent weeks, we heard of the suicide of George Foreman's 42-year-old daughter, Frederica, and the Olympian track cyclist, Kelly Catlin. Miss Foreman had a short-lived boxing career. She appeared in about 6 bouts and she won 5 times. She retired with a record of 5-1. Her last loss was in 2001. George Foreman reportedly paid her to quit boxing because he wasn't happy about her being in the ring. Frederica Foreman is survived by her husband, 2 daughters, 3 grandchildren, and 11 siblings. Cyclist Kelly Catlin helped lead the U.S. to a silver medal at the 2016 Summer Games. Last Friday, her family said she was found dead in her dorm room at Stanford University. Kelly Catlin was 23 years old when she killed herself. We must change this hopelessness, this dark place where people go who think of ending their lives. One way of fighting this phenomenon is to fight bullies, to fight hopelessness, and to fight worthlessness. We also need to look at the fact that many believe in society that society is more important than the individual. Some people are made to feel small because they are different. We need to understand that conformity is not necessarily a good thing. There's nothing wrong with being different. In fact, the church needs to understand and stop forcing people to think as they think. Everyone does not have to be a Christian. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break. I want you to pay close attention to this next list. It's extremely important that you understand what this list is saying to you. The list is the results of low self-esteem and a poor image. Low self-esteem makes you hateful. It makes you produce despicable behavior. You will sneak into a woman's room or you'll sneak into a man's room. You'll tell one another's secrets after someone confides in you. You will have sex with every man you meet. You will bring men into your home that you know nothing about. You will let these men molest your children. You will neglect your children for the praise from some man. The consequence of a low lifestyle. You will commit adultery. You will betray your friends. You will lie. You will cheat. You will cover up. And you will prostitute yourself. Nothing good comes from lack of confidence. You will try to steal someone else's husband. You will be filled with jealousy, hatred, and envy. You will commit rape, murder, and commit debaucherous acts. Low self esteem is a hateful lifestyle. You must do everything and anything to raise your self esteem because it not only affects you, it affects your children. Your child's life depends on your self esteem.
Don't be discouraged. Yes, you can live a life you want to and be the person you want to. Be a goal getter. Take this bold step to order and purchase these life changing books so as to learn the detail of the struggles and limitations women faced before becoming the icons they are today. Then you can avoid mistakes too. I'm going to be honest with you here. There's only one inspirational book which has encouraged me not to be fearful as a woman, but to take a bold but little step to changing my low self-esteem and total life situation positively, so quickly and greatly. My little secret has been the books titled Women of Courage. This book has been so amazing and knowledge-packed. Before now, there hasn't really been a right, perfect time to do the right or perfect thing. Most often than not, I've continued to wait for the right time to have things done, but it always never comes. Not until I got hold of the books, Women of Courage. To gain knowledge and becoming a woman of purpose, only then I was able to create the perfect and right time to grab every opportunity that confronted me. I was strong and determined never to get too comfortable and to stop growing. I was able to use and control my anger and temper for the right course. I became the woman of courage that was not deterred of what people say. I created and took advantage of every opportunity where people saw as limitations. Thanks to the story of many courageous and determined women of history. Interesting, isn't it? The success story of many women who read the book convinced me. Here I am, more refined, courageous, and living the kind of life I have always hoped for. You too can become the woman of courage and purpose everyone would admire, just like me. You have 3 choices. You can sit on your couch and do nothing. You can participate sometime hardly doing anything. Or you can step into the future that you designed. The decision is yours. What are you waiting for? You either stand up for yourself with the chance of winning or failing, or grow old, mean, bitter, and hateful, driving your children to run from home or move to another state because of your archaic ideas. Time is running out. What are you going to do?
I'm back. We have hundreds and hundreds of people who drink alcohol for relief, who take drugs for relief. They do not believe. They've been caught up listening to what other people have to say. You can change your life. You need 2 jobs and a car. And you need to change your friends. And as soon as you can, move to a different neighborhood. Do not associate with anyone who is negative. Keep working those 2 jobs until you get enough money to go back to school. Take yourself to a trade school or go into a school that gives you an associate degree. But keep moving and stop listening to people who talk negative. You can be the prophet of your life, but you must believe in yourself. You must seek professional help if your mind keeps taking you to dark places. You can control your destiny and shape your future. You can live a better, more fulfilling life. You can control the course that you are on. You are the prophet of your life. is a new book that I've written and that I'm glad to be able to share with you or anyone you know who may personally be suffering. Nobody needs to suffer in silence. This book will show you how to be the author of a new chapter in your life. It will show you what you need to do to be happy, successful, and sure of yourself and your future. You must understand what it takes to survive and what it takes to win. Think about it. If you keep working your two jobs and keep saving your money and ignore the people who are stupid and speak negative in your life, you're going to begin to get better. I have found that it's in your darkest hours that you can discover your true self. That is correct. The brilliant light within all of us that can never, never be dimmed if we continue to believe. You will learn how to make informed decisions that will enrich your soul, enlighten your mind, and show you what you have to do and your capacity to make a permanent, positive change in your life. The more you read, the more information you acquire. You will learn from other people's mistakes and other people's triumphs that you are indeed the prophet of your life. Many of us live our lives, but few live our dreams. As prophets of our lives, we have the capacity. We can also attain our most lofty dreams. Ask yourself, do you have or do you want to have rewarding personal relationships? Do you want to run a successful business? Do you want to raise a beautiful, happy family? Then do it. Whatever your dreams are, they are all possible if you have the roadmap, the set of instructions on how to achieve these goals. One thing you must do is keep in touch with yourself. Make a list of everything that you want. Make a list of everything that you want to accomplish in your life. Then every end of the week, you sit down and go over this list and see how close you're becoming to achieving these goals. You divide your list into small goals, medium goals, and large goals. Then that way you can start checking off when you accomplish these goals. Now, in terms of a set of instructions, you can find tips in You Are the Prophet of Your Life. It does give you information on how to become successful. No one has to live a life of mediocrity, settling for whatever comes their way. This book provides good guidance, practical guidance on how you can move from just dreaming of having a better life into making it become your reality. Remember, reading, a job, and working are the keys. You need two jobs, you need a car, you need a savings, and you need to read. Never let anyone stop you from saving money. Every penny that you get above what you need to maintain yourself, you need to save. That first $2,000 that you put in the bank will bring joy to you. That's what happened to me. The first two jobs I worked were in a bar. I worked from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock in one bar and from 6 o'clock to 2 o'clock in another bar. I kept saving and saving and saving until I got my first car. Then I moved on to flipping hamburgers. Then I moved on to delivering ice cream to children. But I kept saving, and by the second summer, I had $2,382 in my savings account. Yes, I was making a low wage, but the point of it is I kept moving and I kept saving. And finally, I was able to return to school. But I didn't sell my body. Negative thoughts interfere with the wonderful life you were meant to lead. You Are the Prophet of Your Life will show you how to live positively no matter what the current situation is. Don't let problems stand in your way of being happy and successful. Learn how to overcome even the most difficult challenges you may face. Think of your life from today on as a new building in which you are the architect. You are the builder of the greatest life you can live. It's up to you to determine what course your life takes, starting today. Because, my friend, you are truly the prophet of your life. Every day, Life throws challenges at us, and it is how you choose to handle those challenges that makes all the difference. You can decide the course of your life from today onward. Think of it. You don't have any money. Your friend suggested you guys go rob someone. You make a choice. That means you are the prophet of your life at that moment because you listened to someone's stupid suggestion. Some of the key messages suggested in the book are being consistent in what you say and what you believe. A problem that most people are guilty of, they are inconsistent. We are destined to fail when we allow negative thoughts and beliefs to impact what we say to ourselves, not only to ourselves, but to others. Being inconsistent in one's beliefs translate to sowing seeds of doubt and unbelief. That's right. If you keep speaking negative to yourself, sooner or later you're going to begin to believe yourself. The most famous saying is that whatever you sow, you will reap. Always endeavor to be consistent in what you say to yourself and speak to others, exuding faith, happiness, and wellness. Never stand up and tell someone what they can't do because you're telling yourself what you can't do. Being pessimistic is dangerous. Do not get up in the morning telling yourself it's going to be a horrible day, no matter how bad your yesterday was. It should never stop you from being optimistic today. Being a pessimist is a recipe for suffering. It prevents you from seeing the positive sides of life. You must realize that you are in control of what you think. More importantly, positive thoughts lead to positive actions. Importance of reading scripture. You don't need to believe in God to read scriptures. There are lessons that anyone can learn and gain from and inspiration from reading scriptures. Reading the Bible can help liberate you from negative thinking. God's words exudes hope and positivity. God tells man that he can look forward to a great life by living righteously and not violating others. Nothing is as powerful as this. You need to investigate your emotions. Being the prophet of your life involves your being in control of your emotions. Investigating our emotions requires self-examination, which for some people will be painful. Most of us are scared to make a mistake, so we hesitate to make tough decisions. No matter how difficult investigating your emotions can be, you must never shy away from it. When you are not in touch with your emotions, you are destined to live a life out of control. Remember what I said, you are the prophet of your life. The emotions that you express every day are you. If this book has a positive change on just one person's life and saves them from living a life of full of hopelessness and despair, then it would have been worth it to me. But I know the impact this way of life has always had on me, and my goal is to share the message with as many people suffering as possible. I wrote this book to wake you up. This book is for everyone. This is the story of your life, and you are its only writer. Let You Are the Prophet of Your Life be your companion to help guide you through life obstacles. Let it be the beacon of your light to awaken you to the best of you. You Are the Prophet of Your Life is a revolutionary book destined to be positive impact on countless lives. It is a breath of fresh air in a world of self-pity. Every parent should have a copy of this powerful, inspiring, outstanding book. Remember, you need people around you who will tell you that it is never too late, that you can reconstruct your life, that you do not have to live inside of a lie. Take a big leap of faith. Start a theater group. Find a place to act. Become a starship captain or a farmer. But please try acting. You'll be surprised how this will liberate your thinking. See if you can sit in front of a group of people and discuss your ideas. Having confidence. Remember what I said, the repetition is the key to learning? Now we are going to discuss the subjects of self-esteem and our self-image and our internal dialogue. Dear listeners, help us save a life. Stop breast cancer from taking lives. Will you assist us in putting the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer in the Hands of a Million People. Please go to the website www.touchedbythelight.us and download the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer. Then email this booklet to 5 friends, asking them to email the booklet to 5 of their friends. We are trying to reach a million women with this information to save lives. The death of one woman to breast cancer from our community is one woman too many. We thank you for your support. Remember, if you miss one of our shows, you can visit our YouTube channel at Touched by the Light Publishing to watch and listen to previous episodes of Women of Courage. Thank you. To summarize, for a person to be at risk of brainwashing, it is necessary that at least one of the following characteristics are met. The victim has low self esteem. The victim has been physically or sexually abused. The victim struggles with drug and alcohol dependency. The victim lives in poverty. The victim has little or no legal protection. Once the trafficker detects one or several of these vulnerabilities in his objective, he or she will seize any available opportunity to seek out the potential victim, including in person tactics at malls, bus stops, walking to and from school, and outside of group homes. Keep in mind this information as we continue to discuss those men and women arrested and convicted of sex trafficking. This insidious behavior must be stopped. We must all participate in the prevention of sex trafficking. This activity is destroying our nation.
Anything that you want in this life can be obtained. You just need to believe. Believe in yourself. You are strong. You are beautiful. You are resilient. You are what we call the women of courage. And your time is now. There are no victims in this life. So I'm asking you, are you ready to make a change? Are you ready to fight for what you want? Are you ready to fight for your dreams? If you are, it starts now. This is the Women of Courage.
Don't be discouraged. Yes, you can live a life you want to and be the person you want to. Be a goal getter. Take this bold step to order and purchase these life-changing books so as to learn the detail of the struggles and limitations women faced before becoming the icons they are today. Then you can avoid mistakes too. I'm going to be honest with you here. There's only one inspirational book which has encouraged me not to be fearful as a woman, but to take a bold but little step to changing my low self-esteem and total life situation positively, so quickly and greatly. My little secret has been the books titled Women of Courage. This book has been so amazing and knowledge-packed. Before now, there hasn't really been a right, perfect time to do the right or perfect thing. Most often than not, I've continued to wait for the right time to have things done, but it always never comes. Not until I got hold of the books, Women of Courage. To gain knowledge and becoming a woman of purpose, only then I was able to create the perfect and right time to grab every opportunity that confronted me. I was strong and determined never to get too comfortable and to stop growing. I was able to use and control my anger and temper for the right course. I became the woman of courage that was not deterred of what people say. I created and took advantage of every opportunity where people saw as limitations. Thanks to the story of many courageous and determined women of history. Interesting, isn't it? The success story of many women who read the book convinced me. Here I am, more refined, courageous, and living the kind of life I have always hoped for. You too can become the woman of courage and purpose everyone would admire, just like me. Every day we wake and drive to work, and we see people walking around, smiling, giving the appearance of happiness, and we envy them. We wish that our lives were like theirs. We drive home and turn on the television, and we see people walking around smiling at their friends and spouses, and we envy them, and we wish we could live a life just like theirs. These thoughts bring misery into our lives because we believe what our eyes see. We accept what is in front of us as being true. We do not see the makeup artist in the background making the final touch-ups to the actor's face. We do not see the diet pills the actors shovel down their throats at night so they can avoid eating. We believe what we see, and what we see makes us miserable. We want to trade places. We begin to think, why could it not have been me? Why could I not have a car like that? Why could I not have a wife like that? Why could I not have a husband like that? Why could I not have a house like that? On and on the questioning continues until finally we are dissatisfied with the world around us. Why could I have not been born to parents like that? All these questions force us to turn inward, and we attack ourselves. We begin to say, I thought Mary would make a wonderful wife when I married her. Now she has grown fat. She complains every day. She never stops. I wake in the morning and she complains. I drive to work and she calls complaining. I come home at night and she complains. Will nothing change? Or you think, I thought Tom would make a great husband. Now I know all he thinks about is the next woman he's going to take to bed. I'm tired of watching him. I just don't care anymore. If he wants to take the entire neighborhood to bed, I don't care. How did I get here? Am I destined to live a life I do not want? A life I hate? Is there nothing going to change? Every day we make changes, we negotiate with ourselves. We make comparisons and we come up short, and we become more and more unhappy. This is why you must take action. Otherwise, your unhappiness will lead you to alcohol, drugs, petty feuds at work, extramarital affairs, obesity, then death. Yes, unhappiness can lead to death. This is why you must take control over your life. No matter where you find yourself, you must take control of your life. Taking control will not be immediate, but the more you work at reclaiming your life and restoring yourself, control will come. You must be careful when you start your reclamation process because others around you will not want you to change. They will want you to remain the unhappy person you have always been. If you decide to return to school, keep it to yourself. If you decide to buy a new house, keep it to yourself. If you decide to move out of state, keep it to yourself. People have gotten used to the old you, and the new you may have problems exerting authority over your life with others and putting a down payment on the future. You simply may want to learn to play the piano. Do not listen when someone tells you you're too old to learn to play. If you want to learn to play the piano, do just that. Read the ads in the paper and find a teacher or contact a local school for an instructor and begin learning to play the piano. This is your life, not anyone else's. Have you noticed how mean some older people are? The meanest comes from dissatisfaction. They spent their entire life doing what was expected of them, doing what someone else told them to do, and now they are 65, 70, or 80 years of age. They realize they never did what they wanted to do. Is that not enough to make one angry? Communication is the key. We spend a great deal of time learning to communicate with others. We should spend an equal amount of time learning to communicate with ourselves. We need to stay in touch with ourselves over the years. We need to ask ourselves, what is next? Am I following someone else's playbook? Are there any changes I can make to my life that will make me happy? After you determine what these changes are, you need to sit down and assess how easy or difficult these changes will be to achieve. The books You Are the Prophet of Your Life and The Devil's Cauldron give a different perspective on self-assessment. Knowing how to relate to others is just as important as knowing how we relate to ourselves. You'll be surprised at the reading. The books are not any other. The books are a good exercise for a reality check. The full complement of books on this website was written at great cost to the writer. Jealous, envy, and even hatred was explored. You will find Be Not Defeated in Hard Times an acclamation to the human spirit. If you do not entertain defeat, you will keep on walking, talking, and working until you win. It is all a matter of goals and asking yourself, what do I want? You may say you want an F-150, but are you willing to work a second job to buy one? Or will you tell your wife why this truck is so important to you that you have to have one? It is all a matter of goals and self-examination. Why do you have to buy a dress every week? Why are you always trying to get the attention of Betty's husband? Out of all the men in the state, you have to try and attract someone else's husband? What does Betty have other than her husband that you envy, so that you have to take her husband to bed? Why was it necessary for you to sneak a peek in her dresser drawers and see how many panties she's had? Why does it make you feel better to humiliate others? Think about it. Why? Read and find your way out of the mess you're in. Reading and considering another point of view can incite you to a new idea or spark your imagination that will lead you to change.
The Women of Courage Show broadcasts every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. Please remember, if you are not in your car or near a radio during our broadcast, we can be seen and heard on your computer if you go to TV33WHPR.com. Again, TV33WHPR.com. We can also be heard on your phone if you download the free app WHPR TV Detroit Live, or listen to us on Roku at WHPR TV Detroit Live 88.1 FM. If you missed one of our broadcasts, you can view our archive on YouTube at the Touched by the Light Publishing channel. Twice a month on Saturday, I meet with my listeners for a discussion about issues affecting women. Please join us. For dates, times, and directions, you can reach us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. Stop thinking there is nothing you can do to change the world. Your life is important. You need to come out and join us and give a voice to our concerns. For more information on our subjects or our books, you can email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. We enjoy your listening to the Women of Courage Show at WHPR every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. And we support your local hairstylist. Do not forget to go to touchedbythelight.us website and download a copy of the booklet, Black Women and Breast Cancer. This is very important information, and we would appreciate it if you email a copy of this booklet to 5 other women. We are trying to reach 1 million people with this booklet. Help us reach our goal. Your emailing this booklet to another woman can help save a life. Thank you. Recovering your life from foreclosure, bankruptcy, divorce, or other personal tragedies is not easy, but you must believe. You may be wounded, broken, battered, and hurt by life, but you must stand up and fight. People often say, when you're going through hell, never give up. It's easy for someone to say this, but talk is cheap. But you are in a place where every turn you take are met with a challenge or trouble, one thing after another. I'm not here to simply tell you not to give up. I understand what it means to be going through what you're going through right now. I slept on a cement floor being bitten by spiders to survive. However, I'm here to tell you that change is possible. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but you must hang on and do as I tell you. Yes, change is possible. I want you to hope and to believe against even all evidence. Spare is no respecter of status. It is no respecter of age, background, gender, or color. Somewhere right now there is a child crying, a man high on drugs, a mother dancing in a club just to pay her bills. Somewhere right now out there is a person heartbroken, a loss of a dear one, a failed promise of love. Somewhere out there is a person clothed in rags, without a home, without affection, and without a family, and without love. Somewhere right now, someone out there is broken, going through a rough time. I say unto you, hold on, stand fast. You can restore and recover your life. You must believe that you are worth fighting for, regardless of what the world says. When I lost everything and had to live in my car, I had a person to forecast gloom and doom into my life. She said the only person in the world that I loved would desert me. This did not happen. When a doctor punched a hole in my heart and sewn me back up, and I bled inside my chest cavity for 7 days, I did not die. God sent me an angel to help me. When cancer visited me, I did not die. God sent me an angel to stand by me. I still have both these friends today. They have seen the best of me and the worst of me. I say unto you, believe and stand fast. Help is on the way. In closing, remember, when you read and learn with your child, the entire family benefits. Let us see how strong you are to honestly work with your child to improve the entire family. Have the courage to say to your child, I do not know, but I will find out for you. Let us see how emotionally strong you are to honestly work on a problem with your child. Saying I do not know is a courage, not a weakness. Have the courage to say I do not know, then go and ask a librarian to help you. Your child will learn his or her self-esteem and self-confidence from you. When you ask for help, it lets your child know there is no weakness in asking for help. Thank you for listening to Women of Courage, and have a great day.